Hello, horse players. Welcome to Oaklawn Capping Hour. Hey, guys, listen, we have a special guest. We have the one and only Justin Dew, a.k.a. Sex God. And
Is that my music?
is it? Huh?
Is that my
Are you
music?
hearing music? That's
Yeah.
your Sex God music. Yeah.
Am
Let's
I not
listen to
supposed
it
to
for
be
a
hearing
second.
that?
I can just picture Dew in Vegas with, I don't know. No, we can't say anymore. Susie, this is a Susie might be watching. All right, listen. Welcome to Oaklawn Capping Hour. Marco, on Monday, I didn't do great. I hit 2 winners, but we did hit the Smarty Jones. I already forgot the name of the horse, Brad Cox. And I think right after the race, I said didn't switch leads till late, and Carbone would have won the race. What did you come up with on the Smarty Jones?
What did I come up with? The winner.
Well, so did I. Okay. Well,
No, that horse was supposed to win that race, and he should be undefeated. Period. I think he's that good. And
okay. Well, he's a talented animal. I think he can improve. He got an 87 Beyer speed figure, which is for a New Year's Day 3-year-old race, pretty good. You would imagine a Southwest run, and it would be backed. And if it does switch leads and gets another clean trip, why not the 90s? From there. I don't know what the rag's going to be. I don't really check rags like I should. I know our father uses the rags for claiming horses, but I need to implement those in my daily handicapping, at least for big race days. I'm just kind of lazy when it comes to that, and I feel like I don't know how to read them, and I should take the time to do that. Justin, tell me a little bit about rags. Do you use rags?
I use them every chance I get, which isn't very often. Some of the best handicappers I know swear by rags and say that they're the best speed figures out there. I have much more experience with Thorograph, which I think is solid too, but I agree with what you said about incorporating rags into your handicapping. I would probably do that too, although they're expensive. I think it's like $40 a race card or something.
Wow. That is pretty pricey, but I guess if you're throwing money down like Frank does,
right,
you can buy them.
Yeah, no, if you're in a contest, that costs a lot of money to get in, probably makes sense to, dig deep and find those extra $40.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Justin, this has been a interesting year for you. You're an accomplished horse player. Everybody kind of like knows who you are, seems like. And I was with you at the last Hawthorne contest, and you were a head bob and a neck away from winning like $5,000 in there. And you won a Pegasus seat. And tell us about your reasoning, because we like to talk about contest play here. Tell us about your reasoning behind picking the Pegasus as opposed to the NHC, where I'm thinking, hey, you just won $3,800 plus another $1,900. You can pay for the seat, and you can take the NHC seat. But what was your reasoning behind that?
Well, to be honest, I ended up not having a choice because, shockingly, 2 of the guys that were ahead of me on the leaderboard, both of whom were already NHC qualified, ended up taking their second NHC seat instead of the Pegasus seat, which is worth $6,000. So I was shocked that they did that. I had decided that I was going to choose the Pegasus, even though I'm not NHC qualified, because I'm just not. I want to qualify for the NHC. I want to be there. I will probably go there either way and try to win in with in the last chance qualifier if I don't win a seat beforehand. But as of this moment, I'm just not that excited about the NHC. I think I do a little bit better in cash tournaments, live money tournaments. I don't have a lot of results to to back that up. But I've noticed recently I've been much closer to big finishes in live money contests. So that's the focus for me right now, and that's why I would have chosen the Pegasus had I had a choice, but ended up not having a choice, and that's where I'm going.
Okay. Well, you explained that perfectly, and your recent play has been really good. I bet we get your picks on our Lone Speed text group, and you've done well online. You've done that. Pegasus score was really awesome, and I think now's the time. Now's the time. I feel like you're gonna hit your best stride. Marco, you've been you finished 12th recently. Steve DeCaspers won his second seat in the same contest on Friday, was it, or Saturday? No, that was Monday.
It was New Year's, yeah.
Say that again? New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, good run there. You have how many points right now? 7,000.
I had something like that, probably. I might be able to back more in, but I need a play to get in. I don't play that often, so.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully we'll get you guys in. You guys will be in Vegas anyway, and I know you guys are gonna collect a seat. So, Marco, let's talk about our. My ROI has been below the Mendoza line pretty much the entire year since the second day. I've been trying to build my way back. I had a couple of winners. I still lost like $2 on Monday. You were in the positive going into Monday, and you had a disastrous Monday. We did hit the Smarty Jones, although that horse didn't pay a lot. But you know what? We do a mythical $2 win place. There's no cap. So if we hit a 40-1 shot, we're going to make like $100 on that race. So, not that we're just stabbing all the time, but we like to pick prices, and, in normal circumstances, I'm not going to pick every race, but for the purposes of the show, we have to pick every race. We're in the negative, but let's work our way back, see what kind of opinions we have today. I did put a pick 5 together. I'm going to scroll that on the bottom. Let's dive into the card. Race 1, Marco and Justin, is a state-bred. Let me make sure I'm on the right day. Looks like a state-bred maiden claiming event for Arkansas breds, of course. We're at Oaklawn, so we got to be an Arky bred. We're going 6 furlongs, and I landed on the 6 horse here, Pink Chimes. And my notes on this horse was might get the lead. When you got these cheap horses, and I always say this to Dylan Donnelly to make him laugh because he laughs every time I say it. These cheap horses, they get the lead, they puff their chest out, and they keep going. And that's what I'm hoping that Pink Chimes will do here. Second time off the layoff, second career start. It's a 4-year-old filly, so I'm not sure what the deal is, why it only has 1 start, but it ran well enough in that first start to give me the confidence to bet it here. You landed on the 2 horse.
Yes, Sisters Out of Chrome.
Okay.
All smushed in one word there. I went back and watched a couple replays of this race because I was kind of debating between a few horses. But this one here had a delayed start in the debut. It started pretty much in dead last. She started moving midway around the turn, made a nice stretch run, passing every horse except for the winner, and really it galloped out really well past the winner down the track. I thought it was an encouraging debut run, and I think with a better start, maybe a different outcome in that one. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and select her on top this time, and hopefully, get a better start, at the beginning of the race.
All right, duly noted. I landed on the 3 as my backup. Cashmere Baby, Tom Swearingen, old Chicago guy, Chelsea Bailey in the irons. It's dropping. We haven't seen it since last year at the meet, but it's got a number that fits, and it's taken a plunge again. A lot of times, we've already mentioned this several times, these Arkansas breds usually wait meet to run, so it's not uncommon to see a horse off of a large layoff. Justin, did you have any opinions on this race? I don't know if you look at Arkansas state breds.
yes, maiden 20s and 6 furlongs on the dirt are not really my jam.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say about these Arkansas bred races, which I don't think this will come as news to anybody. Steve DeCasper has turned me on to an angle once with horses like this, but I think more at the maiden special weight level, which is, if they had a race out of state, like say at Churchill Downs or something at maiden special weight, it just looked a little bit dull or flat. And then they come back here early in the Oaklawn meet in an Archie bred race. You might have a situation where the human connections didn't want the non-state bred purse of Churchill in one of the rich state bred races of Oaklawn. Although I'm looking at this race, and it's not a good example. This is a $10,000 claim with a $33,000 purse. So I think at the maiden special weight level, we might see larger purses like that. For instance, the 7th race later on the card, maiden special weights run for $115,000. So not sure how valuable that insight was there, but something to think about when you play these state bred races.
Okay, well, we went 4 deep in there in our first leg of the early pick 5, $72 ticket. It's scrolling on the bottom. We won't talk about Marco's backup, but whatever. We threw the 7 in there as well. And we're going to move on to race 2. Race 2. Me and Marco both land on the 6. It's a 10,000 claiming event going 6 panels. And Last Outlaw, makes some sense here coming in from Indiana. We love the jockey. The jockey rode a horse for us, Rat-a-tat-tat, last weekend. And at 18-1 got it up for 3rd, cutting back. And this one here, I just feel like there's a fast pace to close into. And, this one's going to be herd that last 16th. And hopefully we can chew up some ground. Marco, is that what you saw?
Yeah, I also think he's, just improving. And then if you really throw out his route races, his form looks a lot better. And he's got his feet down on the Oaklawn track for a couple workouts. So yeah, and the jockey, I think he's hungry. And he's going to ride these horses, with some aggression.
Yeah, it lost to a horse that got a huge number. Well, not a huge number, a big number for these, I guess, a 79. Lucky's Joy. That horse ran off the screen. This one beat everybody else over there. Comes over here to Oaklawn, and honestly, the work tab is nothing to write home about, but it's not. They're not bad. It's been working locally, and this horse dropping down a little bit in class, ran in a state bred or a restricted stake over there, split the field, and that was at around 2 turns. Like you said, sprinting, 2 starts, win in a second. Makes a lot of sense in here to me. And at 8-1, I'm going to single this horse because we both like the horse. And if this horse does somehow win with a cheap $72 ticket, we're going to get paid on this early pick 5. My backup was the 7. Only because I was at the farm recently where we have some of our 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. What's the the girl's name? Is it Alice,
Linda.
Julie? I forgot her name. Linda. I'm way off. Linda, nice lady, knows what Starfish Stables or something like that, or farms.
Yeah.
Very nice facility. This jockey, she thinks, has a little bit of talent. He was sick last weekend. I think he had a little bit too much to drink. But this guy, I think Dylan picked one of his mounts last week, and the thing won, or he ran second at like 32-1. And, you're a 10-pound bug, so I threw him on, and the horse doesn't look bad. And you like the 10 horse also, Heir to Greatness. It's 3-1. It's Carl Broberg. Look, obviously if this horse is healthy or runs anything like it did last year, especially with that race in January at Oaklawn, it's going to be tough. But this is a sprint, and it's going to have to show us that it can sprint, even though it's taking the deep plunge here. So that's why I didn't pick it on top or even in my exacta. And I felt like the price was going to be too low.
Pretty much. Just got some good back numbers, but I don't know. Like, something could be wrong with this horse too. So that's why I don't have him on top. But if it's healthy, it looks like it could
Right.
really do a good job here.
Justin, this is a non-winners of 2 life event, 10,000 going 3/4. Did you take a peek at it? I know you paid attention to the later part of the card. Anything here?
The only thing resembling an interesting opinion that I might have it here. Number 2, Color Me Legendary. A pretty honest drop in class, down from 30,000 N2L, and was bet to 9-2 last time in a 7-horse field. I'm not saying that means much because if buyers are your thing, you've really got to look. Well, you skip the last one, but you get into the 60s. Most of those on turf. That horse figures with the rest of the field. A 62 or a 63 buyer here would put the horse in contention. So I think if the morning line is accurate on this too, might be one you want to include.
Yeah, that horse there, like you said, it's plunging way down from 30, Remington Park. And me and Marco like the Remington runners. They've been doing pretty decent. The jock is a negative for me. She's a nice girl, but she, to me, in my opinion, she doesn't finish good.
She's 0 for 31 at the meet.
Yeah, she's over 31, and I don't look, she's trying. She's a better rider than I could ever be, obviously. So I don't want to make fun of anybody's profession, but she's still, and she's not a bug anymore. So, hey, I'll leave it at that. Mark, well, no, you already gave me your synopsis of the race. Let's move on to the next race. We're going to single there. We're going to take a stab. Me and Marco both like the 6. We're going to single it. Cross ourselves. Hope it comes in. Race 3. We both like the 7. The 7 for me, this horse likes to win. Creme de la Crome. And I think I said that right.
I think you did. Yep.
Yeah, the horse likes to win, and it likes to try, and it likes to be in the exacta, and it's got 14 starts, 6 wins, 5 seconds. It's coming in from Zia. So we'll have to see if it can run over here at Oaklawn, but the numbers are solid on this animal. It's a 5-year-old that just turned 5. I mean, to me, it's a horse I wouldn't even mind dropping a slip on, to be honest with you. So I'm going to have a little conversation with Mel, see what he thinks about it. And I'd like to maybe look into claiming this horse if it's straight. I don't see front laps on the PPs. So maybe if we can get some information. I'm telling the whole world on this podcast of the 100 people that might watch this. I would like to drop a slip on it. But this horse loves to win. It's 100% the money and the exact at 6 furlongs. And this trainer, not bad. 5 starts, 2 wins in a second here, 40% at the young meet, and 23% sample size this whole year from 93 starts. So this guy knows what he's doing. And you have Arietta and the Irons, who's a Oaklawn staple, has done a lot of good things here. So I feel like this horse is going to be in the mix early and might be the speed and outkick everybody else. This horse likes to try. It likes to eyeball horses, and it likes to fight for that lead and either get its nose down or just miss. But it, 2 back, it got its nose down. Last race, it lost by a neck. So what I'm saying is it'll be there.
Steve, let me ask you a question as an experienced owner, which you are, and you have experience in the claiming game. So they claimed this horse for $20,000, and on November 14th, and they've owned it for about a month and a half. So let's just say some quick dirty math here. You're looking at, say, between $4,000 and $5,000 in claiming, in training expenses rather. So now they're like, let's say $25,000, $26,000 in on the horse. Plus they had to transport it from Zia Park to Oaklawn. I don't know what that costs. The winner's share of the purse here, $35,000 is what, about $19,000 or $20,000? Am I right there?
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, I usually like to cut it in half once you pay the trainer and the jockey.
Okay.
50%.
So if you add that to are they hoping here that the horse wins and gets claimed?
Well, they're hoping it wins and doesn't get claimed, in my opinion, and they're rolling the dice because it's hard to win at Oaklawn and they want to win. But this horse is getting claimed.
But if it wins,
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I think, look, the Oaklawn claim box is very popular, and I think this horse is definitely getting claimed.
Yeah, and if it gets claimed in and doesn't win, they're hurting. They're taking a bath on the horse.
Well, I don't know what this guy's day rate is over there at Zia. I mean, shipping, they don't have a ship and win like California does. So you're right about that. Probably cost them, I don't know, $1,000, $1,500 to get them here. Claim for 20, so 75 in a hole there. Throw in the training. So that's 10 at least.
Yeah.
Plus the other. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Look, there's a lot there. They got to win this race.
Well, if
they got to win this race.
If they win and get claimed, they're looking at, call it $31,000, maybe $32,000 back to them. Then they got to pay the jockey and the trainer. That's just not much profit margin. But hey, maybe they know what they're doing. This guy, he's won, like you said, 23% on the year. Trainer's also 28% first off the claim with a hugely negative ROI. So if this horse gets pounded to 8-5 or something and wins.
Well, by the way, the trainer jockey combo at the meet is 60%. 3 out of 5.
There you go.
Well, the last 2 years anyway. Here,
yeah.
So there's a lot to like. Marco, you picked that horse second. What did you like about the one horse here? Good Heart.
Well, this thing's dropping way down. I mean, they claim this for 40, not 20. So yeah, there definitely could be something wrong with him. But
yet you pick it on top.
But I pick it on top because Diodoro off the claim is just great. I think it's 24% maybe, and this horse just looks just way better than everybody. Like I like this. I like the 7, but now we're talking about that's Division 2 ball. Now we're stepping up to now we're on Division 1. Okay. And I'm just looking for this horse to get somewhat near those numbers or those races at Ellis, those 6 furlong dirt sprints. If he can just get anywhere near that, he should crush this field.
Well, here's my notes on this horse. Ellis, horse for course.
Well,
it's never run anything close to those numbers on dirt. And, it's got a couple of turf races, don't get me wrong. But it won its debut on turf at Kentucky Downs. It won at Ellis on turf. Loves the Ellis main track. The 2 other races not very good. Now you could say grade 1 at Keeneland, routing.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And then the last race at maybe it doesn't like Keeneland. Is that where maybe that's what the deal is. It doesn't like Keeneland.
I think Diodoro will be able to figure this thing out with this much time. Being January 5th from October 12th. And he's 24% first claim. And this field...
I'm not going to knock Diodoro. I'll never knock him.
Isn't the greatest. So I was looking at this race long and hard, and I don't like any of the other horses here that much. I think they're all pretty weak. The 7 is probably the best of the rest. But I just don't know about the competition level.
I'm going basically off of the speed figs of this horse, the 7. I don't know a lot about Zia. I don't know a lot about Ruidoso Downs. What the hell is ALB, Justin? What track is that?
Albuquerque?
You don't even know?
Albuquerque? I don't know.
There's a track in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
Let's look it up. I'm going to look and see where we're at.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that kind of exactly
yeah, it's Albuquerque.
But they make figures. Okay, they make figures there, and this horse has good figures, and it likes to try. So that was
right here. For example, let's go back to the 7 real quick. Running 108s. I mean, there's no way this horse runs a 108 here. It's just not going to happen.
Well, of course not, but it's a fast trip. Actually, the track bias that day was a 9. But yeah, something's weird. I don't know. Look, hey.
Other than that, I like the horse. I think it's better than every other horse in the field. But I think the one.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Well, look. All right. Well, I think we wasted our time. I like. I like the 7 because it tries. How about that?
Yeah, I like the 7 too.
I'll say one last thing about the 7. I don't have my calculator out, but looks like making about $10,000 a start, and at that rate, that makes it one of the highest earning horses in the field. If you measure it by start, the one would be better. But I mean, so the 7's making money. If you care about
Justin, we should claim it together.
No thanks. You can have it.
We'll get another one. No more horses with the name Magic in it, though. We'll be fine.
That's right. And bad for everybody.
Yep. Okay, race 4. We both like the 3, Marco. However, you like it second. I like it on top. Blow Torch. Blow Torch is a Hawthorne Invader. I know a little bit about this horse. This horse here, I think might be a price. I think it's going to be higher than the morning line. The morning line is only 7-2, but I think I get an overlay on it. It's got a nice work tab. My question mark is it ready? I say so. Look at that work 2 back on December 22nd. That half panel, or that 4 furlong, the half mile move, 48 flat, 2 out of 66. I like horses that work 2 out of 60, 2 out of 70, because it's not a black dot, and it's not like obvious. But this horse here looks fine on paper to me, and the work says it can come in fresh off of that September run. And it ran terrible off of a layoff last year and a maiden 30. But it's a different horse now than it was back then. And Christian Torres is starting to ride well. I think you've noticed that, Marco. I think he started out 0 for his first 28 races, and now he's
something like that.
15. What is he? 7 out of his next 30 races or something, or 40 races. So he's starting to win. You picked the 7 on top with the 3 being your backup.
Well, yeah. So Vernon Hunger Love, I know this horse. He was in the Texas circuit as well. Broberg, he won the same race last out. Problem, he's never won back-to-back races ever, but I think that can change. Another thing I like, he can win on the lead or off the pace. And I think there is some pace that's going to be out there today. So I'm actually hoping he's using a stalking tactic. And the 3, the backup, your top pick, I think are looking. The 7 and 3 are looking for the exact same trip here, which is why I landed.
Correct. That's when you described the 7, I was thinking of my pick. Correct.
Yeah, and then what made me take the 7 over to 3 was the recency. And he's got that race under the belt. He won at Oaklawn. Blow Torch is coming off a little layoff, I think, and I just thought maybe Vernon Hunger Love was in better racing form, currently, so it just gave me the extra edge. And then also your 1 horse, I see you have the 1 as your backup. I was also up in the air with that one. I would definitely put that one in any kind of exotics or multi-race wagering, because that's almost like the same type of pace scenario that 1 is looking at as well. So all 3 of those really can be potential winners, I think, in this race.
Yeah, that 1 horse was knocking on the door. 0 for 6 last year, but 3 seconds and 2/3. And Justin, you're a Churchill player. You like Churchill Downs. You play it a lot. And this horse had some success, just missed in some tough starter allowance races there. I don't know if you know this horse or not, but it did get a 94 Beyer speed figure 2 back. And if it can run that figure in this race, it will simply destroy this field. I don't know where that number came from, because, it never really ran that fast before. But some of the other numbers were pretty good over there in Kentucky with an 87 and 83.
The thing I'll say about that 94 Beyer, every horse that came out of that race regressed, except for the last place finisher, regressed in a big way on the Beyer scale. The winner went from a 95 to an 81, Junior Bug a 94 to a 78. Third place finisher, Spen Benjamin's a 92 to an 83. It's possible that's a bad number.
You're probably right. And I mean, that's company lines are a big part of my handicapping angles. And I didn't know that. So thank you for pointing that out. So that kind of makes me feel a little bit better about my pick, and Marco probably for your pick as well. At the same time, I did add this horse on our pick 5, and just in case, because it's been knocking at the door, and this is a race where, you know, any of those last 5 numbers, it will be right there, and you know, those numbers in between the 74 and 94 Beyer speed figure range. It's 4-1 morning line, and it's going to look to save some ground and then kick late.
And if you're a believer in time form US pace projections, the 1 appears to be the fastest closer in the field. So just one more thing to
see that it's got an 89. Yeah, you know what? I'll throw it in. It's obviously on our ticket for saver, and we'll keep it on there. The 90, the slop. It ran in the slop last time. It still ran its race, and it can apparently run on fast or an off track. Race number 5. It is a 7,500 non-winners of 3 life claiming event. Purse is $30,000, so you got to love the purses at Oaklawn Park. 6 furlongs. I landed on the 7 horse, and my notes are second off, layoff, and drops. And that was simply what I liked about it. It got a race under its belt. It was second time blinkers last time, but it was coming off of a layoff. I feel I'm kind of treating this as like a second time blinkers, even though it's a third time blinkers, because it was coming off that layoff and dropping down here from that 10 run. And, you know, I haven't gotten a chance to see what those horses were going to do. There was a trip note here lacked. No, there wasn't a trip note on this horse. Excuse me. It said lacked closing kick. Arietta, I just gave it a shot. No other fact than this trainer here, Matt Williams, who I don't know a ton about. He's 25% off of a very small sample size, 2 for 8, 2 off the 45 to 180 day layoff. I figure I give it a shot here because this field just doesn't look that strong on paper. The 9 was my backup. Dodgeball, cool name, cool story about Dodgeball. There was a girl named Erica Halberick. Me and my buddies in 8th grade would all hold the ball and count to 5 and throw it at her at the same time. And she I feel bad about it to this day. I was telling the story the other day at the kitchen table. I saw her walking on Highway 50 in Kenosha by herself. She wasn't the most attractive girl, and we kind of, you know, kids are cruel, and we made fun of her and we threw the dodgeball at her. But I wish I could buy her a cup of coffee right now. I feel bad.
Yeah, I mean that behavior might have contributed to her walking alone on Highway 50.
Yeah. Right, but this horse is 7-2.
Yeah,
Carl Broberg, I think he you know, not only we've mentioned he's not only a good trainer, but he's a good handicapper as well. Mark, you landed on the 3 horse. Tell us about the Tenacious Lady.
Well, one thing for sure. Okay, I hate this race. I'm not betting this race. I think it's just a bunch of garbage. But they got to run it, and I got to pick it. I'm taking the Diodoro dropper. He ran third in the claiming 30, non-3 last out. He's just dropping. I think he just wants to win. It looks like he's dropping a lot of his horses. I think he wants to start winning, and this is a really good way to do it. Just take some good horses and drop them down in the 7,500 non-3 life events, and you know they should, you know, like you say, you know, puff their chest out.
Well, when you puff your chest out, Marco, you're in the lead and you're cheap horse, and you keep going. I don't know if this. I mean, maybe this one's going to be fast enough. Justin, can you tell us about it early? Oh, it looks like the 6 is fast. I mean, honestly, this race, we're 4 deep in here, and I don't like this. I'm not betting this race either. I might even like up our ticket and hit the freaking all button. Justin, tell us what you like here.
I mean, again, this is not my kind of race. I'll just point out a morning line that seems a bit on the high side to me is number 2, Charlotte's Way at 30-1. Has run at Oaklawn 3 times, has a win and a second. The win was at the maiden 10,000 level. Kind of went to the front and didn't look back against 9 opponents. Ran second at the maiden 30 level against 10 opponents, and was up close in that race as well. Has shown a tendency to be up close in these 6 furlong races at Oaklawn against claimers. The question you have to ask is, does this one have the class to compete here? And I think the answer is, maybe.
Yeah, we just had a slight little blackout, but I caught the gist of what you said there. We lost Marco, but there he is. Yeah, after hearing everything about this race, I think what I'm going to do, Justin, is I'm going to hit the all button on my pick 5. I can't be that much more. I don't care. Well, probably will be a lot more pricey, but what would you do in that situation? Because this is a tough race. We're singling the 6 horse in the second leg. Would you just leave the ticket? Would you go deeper here, or just add the ones that you?
Depends on your bankroll. I'd say this is if you're slim other places, this is a good spot to go with the all button. I mean, again, like I said, I think the 2 is interesting. I mean, again, if buyer speed figures are your thing, when she captured the maiden 10, she ran a 56. And again, I use buyers sometimes, other times I don't. The 56 is a little light compared to some of these, but if some of these don't run their best, and at this level, they're not all going to, I think the 2 makes sense. And according to time form, should be very forward early. So, I would say the all button makes sense in a race like this. I would use.
I agree. I agree. The 2 Raven's Nest is another one that's 30-1. It's like, wait a minute, look at that maiden score. And the last race was a 50,000 starter allowance. And, I can only imagine what the hell was in there. So
which
might be going a little bit deeper.
Which horse were you just talking about?
Raven's Nest, number 2.
We're on race 5, aren't we?
Oh, Christ. Yeah, my computer reset. Your horse is race 2. Let's move on to the next race. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
All right. Idea. We're moving on to the next one. Okay, next race is a $7,500 non-winners of 2 life. The last one, that's where it threw me off. The last one was a $7,500 non-winners of 2. Right. This is a non-winners of
2. That was a
3 and 2. Yeah, one's a 3, one's a 2. Okay. Now I'm right. Okay. So I like Hartman here.
No, wait, this might be, I think this is 75,000. That was race 5. So let's recap. Race 5 was 75.
Okay, let's start over. The last race, you're right. There's too many zeros here. The last race was a $7,500 non-winners of 3.
3, yeah.
This is a $75,000 non-winners of 2 for $69,000.
That's right.
Got it. Don't have my bifocals on.
Speaking of bifocals, I just got prescribed bifocals yesterday, and I'll be picking them up, I think, in 10 days.
I wear them, Justin. You've probably seen me wear them at the NHC. I did get LASIK about 20 years ago. It was the best thing I've ever done because I could see perfect far away. But as you get older, it's hard to see screens, reading things. And obviously I couldn't see the extra 0 there because it was a little blurry. Doesn't help that I'm drinking a little bit of Grey Goose as well. Yeah. So,
that you're thinking about that poor girl that you threw a dodgeball at that now cannot afford
that as well
transportation.
That as well. Okay. Well, we're going to move into. Well, this race here, I like the 5 horse favorite Outlaw. It's the 5-2 morning line favorite. I don't see this horse losing. It's freshly gelded. Hartman, he can get these horses ready off the layoff. It has a beautiful work tab going. Ramsey Zimmerman and Oli but Goody. He's only 1 for 40, but he's knocking on the door with 6 seconds. He's a capable jock. And if Chris Hartman wants or has the faith to have this guy on this animal here, he must be working him in the morning and feels pretty good about it. Who's Arietta riding in here? Because Arietta rode this horse 6 times in a row. And he is on the 1, Distorted Pro. I don't know what to make of that. That's Mac Robertson barn. I don't have the 1 anywhere in sight. Of course, I'm not playing the late pick 5, or late pick 4, but that's interesting that he's not riding the 5. But anyway, I feel like this horse here, it's gelded. It likes Oaklawn. It's run well here. It's working well here. I respect this trainer immensely, and I think he's got this horse fresh and ready right off the bench. Marco, what do you say here? I think you're on the 12 horse. I like the 12 as my backup.
Yeah, the 5 is definitely the one to beat. 5-2, you're not getting it. It's going to be like 8-5.
I'm not going to get 5-2.
I don't think so, because it's Hartman and he's a local, like everybody loves the guy.
Okay. Well, we haven't seen it in a while.
And I mean, if you're just looking at his numbers, he looks just that much better than most of them in here. Way faster. I mean, just everything about it. I think he's just going to get bet down to, that's the one I'm trying to beat. I like the pick. But yeah, the 12, I think, could be hanging out pretty early as well. Like, not too far back to try to make a run at it. I don't think if you're way back there, you're going to be able to catch them. You might be able to just sit, I don't know, maybe like 2-3 lengths back and just hope maybe that another horse can kind of give him some, pressure, make him uncomfortable a little bit. Bad step. I don't know. Anything can happen. And have enough kick at the end. And that's the one I want to try to do that with, because other than that, I don't really like a whole lot in this race outside of those 2.
Yeah, I like the 12 too. 12's my backup. 12's exiting New York, Saratoga races. The winner went for gold in that last race was super tough and has some big numbers. Justin, there's a horse underneath in that last race that won next time out that we know well. Callaloo, if you remember that one.
Of course, we both played that horse one day.
Yeah, we made some money on that score somewhere in there where it went off at 10-1. But nonetheless, I mean, it's Saratoga is tough. I mean, we know how tough those races are. Both my picks are coming off of layoffs. A little bit of a concern, but my top pick, I love how it's working. Marco, your backup is Pass Line.
Yeah, this one, if somehow the race just there's a lot of ones that go. I don't know how really this pace is going to even go. I just think this one could probably switch tactics and probably be more of a closer when I was looking at it earlier. Not a big opinion. I don't think this horse is much. I wouldn't bet on this horse. Maybe throw it in an exotic. I mean, really, you might want to single the 5 if you're playing, but the 12 is my pick. I have no strong opinion on the 6. I just used it to try to maybe blow the tote board up.
Let
after looking at the race, Marco, you're right. I think the 5 is going to be bet. Even off the. Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
Let me throw you guys another price horse, if you're interested.
I'm interested.
Pretty committed to your 5, and I think your 5 makes a ton of sense. Obviously, if buyer speed figures are a real thing, and this one runs back those buyers, then it'll clearly be tough to beat. But the 8 Stuck in Snow, one at the main special weight level here at Oaklawn at 6 furlongs, today's distance, and then tried Stakebred Stakes Company, and didn't disgrace himself. Has been off since April. A bullet work, fastest of 153 on December 10th, and then you have some maintenance moves after that. That might indicate that they're interested in trying to win first off the shelf. Donnie von Hemmel limited sample, but 40% winners with layoffs of this length from just 5 starters, but still positive ROI. And again, I know I keep talking about speed figures and numbers, but if Timeform US pace projections are your thing, and if they're accurate, this one has the fastest US Timeform US late pace figure, a 79. So if this one's ready to go, and if they go fast early, this one does have a win and 3 trifecta finishes from 6 prior starts here at Oaklawn. And who knows, might surprise them late.
Very interested. Archie bred in this spot. I mean, it's a nice little Archie bred. I think underneath would be the sweet spot for this. If you want to key 1 or 2 on top and put this thing third and fourth on a try and super, 100%. I would like to try that out. Another one that I want to mention too, just for the hell of it. It's a weird looking horse, the 11 with Asmussen. It has 1 good race sandwiched by 2 shit races. And, you know, obviously something happened in the debut. It just pulled up and vanned off. Ran terrible in the last, beat 1 horse, but it crushed at Remington before that with a 79 by 6. Is it a need the lead type is what I'm wondering. And maybe it can get the lead here. I know that the 9 Timtal has a 106 early time form, but at least this one's on the outside of that one. And if it can catch a flyer out of the gate and Ramon Vasquez can get the jump on Christian Torres there, that one might be a little bit dangerous on the front end. And who knows, right? Steve Asmussen. Marco, I'm surprised you didn't pick the 11.
Yeah, you know, going through in here and looking at everything. I mean, I'm really actually going to relook at this race. I'm going to stick with the 12 for now, obviously. You know, I mean, even this 4 horse is kind of looking interesting as well.
Oh shit, we're throwing everybody out there.
I mean, if we're looking at workouts, I mean, he just ran a bullet, 1 out of 103, cutting back in distance. You know, it's another
cutting back and doing what?
Cutting back in distance from a mile.
Okay.
Third off the layoff. So.
Yeah, look, I think the 5 romps. I think we just turn the page here and dive into Justin's pick 3.
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah, let's talk about. You spent some time on this. Thank you for joining us for the first part of the card. You spent a little bit of time on this. I think some of your plays make a lot of sense because I think I landed on a few of these as well. You know, obviously this is the minimum ticket's probably 50 cents or $1. Obviously, with a 3x1x2, you would be betting a lot more than the minimum amount and try and hit a nice big score here. But that's Justin's ticket there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll this on the bottom so we can look at it. Boom.
Oh.
And my pick is the 9 over the 6. And Marco, you have the 8 over the 6. Justin, you have the 6 on your ticket. You don't have our 8 or our 9. And tell me a little bit about your horses. I think you mentioned on your email to me that the 3 was your top pick.
Well, the 3 is the key to the bet. Look, I mean, the 1, to me, the 1 and the 6 are standouts in here. I think one of them probably wins. But the 3 Tornado Road for Wayne Lucas is a little bit interesting. And what has me interested is on debut, this one ran against Locked, and I think we all know who Locked is. Locked ran, was it 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile as the favorite? Yeah, won the Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity. But on this day at Saratoga, Tornado Road was the 3rd choice in a 10-horse field at 7-1, and the 2 that were bet more heavily than him came back to win their next starts as well. So, look, finished 9th, beating 49 lengths under Gaffleone. I'm not saying Tornado Road did anything in that race that is noteworthy, but then comes back on December 9th, first start off a long layoff, tries 2 turns for the first time. The Saratoga Mile is kind of like a turn and a half, I guess. But in the December 9th race, I didn't get to watch the replay, unfortunately, because Formulator is currently not showing Oaklawn replays. I think they're working on that. But basically split the field. One horse from that race has already come back to win, Imperial Gun, and improved the Beyer speed figure. That one did by 20 points. The winner came back and didn't win, but improved its Beyer speed figure. I think Tornado Road under Landeros can be forwardly placed. Probably not on the lead, but probably up there. And for about the 20th time on this show, I'll reference Timeform US pace figures if they're accurate and if you like them. It shows that Tornado Road will probably be doing a little bit of running late. Won't, isn't projected to pack it in, and will be up close to start with. So the mare has popped out some talented runners. Caribbean Caper is a Grade 3 winner for Al Stahl. So the offspring of this one have a pretty decent record. In fact, they've won a combined 8 out of 22 starts. The offspring of this mare. So I think that horse is interesting to start a pick 3, but I think the 1 or the 6 probably get it done. And I'll be using the 3 in exotics.
Well, what I would like to add too, these horses are now 3. They go from 2 to 3, and they're allowed to run with Lasix. So
also second blinkers, Steve-O. We know someone who likes second blinkers, and Tornado Road is second blinkers.
Chalkbuster.
That's right.
Yeah, he likes second blinkers angle, and it's something that I implemented into my handicapping, and it's a very good angle. These horses usually, everybody's thinking first blinkers, that's a big equipment change. The second time out, they're used to it, and maybe they're training, with the blinkers a little bit more. They tend to perk up a lot, and it's a good angle that he likes to use that I have implemented, and so have you. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You also have the 1 which makes a lot of sense as well. The 6, I land the 6 is 6 to 5, and that horse there, obviously, that's my backup. That number is good enough to hit the board in the Smarty Jones. I mean, that horse probably runs second in the Smarty Jones or is right there. To Brad Cox's stablemate that won the race. So that was a nice effort. And so obviously that's the one to beat. I didn't want to pick it on top just because, come on, we're contest players. We don't pick those horses on top. I landed on the 9. The 9 is the unknown. The 9 is an Asmussen trainee. Hey, you know what? Crush It's the fastest, but this one in the morning is fast. And, Asmussen, this horse, if you look at Unbridled Song, Broodmare, by Malibu Moon, this horse can get 2 turns first asking. And it's working like a champ. I think it's better than a lot of these other horses in here. And if there's anybody that could beat the favorite, you made a great case for the 3. I don't see anybody beating the favorite unless it's an unknown factor like the 9. So that's why I landed on Riyadh Moon.
City in Saudi Arabia. And the siblings of this one, the mare has had 3 runners to race. 2 of them ran second on debut. The other one didn't run so well, but that third one won start number 2. So another one of the ones also won start. So it feels like a mare that produces horses that are capable of running early. If they're in the right spot. You've got a Bullet Work 2 back, and then second fastest a 47 before that. So working well. I think your 9 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, 15 to 1. I had to take a stab, and if the favorite wins, hey, no problem. Thanks for playing. But if the 9 wakes up and I get paid, and I don't know, 15 to 1, maybe I think more like 9 to 1 is going to be more like it just because of the connections. But I'll take 9 to 1, 10 to 1. Marco, you like the I mean, obviously we both like the 6, but we don't want to pick it on top. You like the 8 Snow King. That's the other Asmussen.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not going to go through an Oaklawn card and not pick Asmussen at least in one race. So I landed on this one. And the reason why I did not use the 9 is I like Asmussen after he has a race under his belt with a horse. He can go out there, see what happened, how he come out of it. It looks like he's right now same percentages, but I think he is better at second outs after he gets the horse for a while. And I think 2 turns is what this horse needs. It's by a Tappet, Giants Causeway mare. So I don't think the distance is going to be a problem.
Well, of course not.
Yeah, Asmussen second time out for me versus the first time starter.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, those are the connections here with Brad Cox. And, now that Justin talked about that 3 Tornado Road, I'm going to be watching this race with a lot of interest tomorrow because the coach has an old saying, you got to run them to win them, even if they don't look like they belong. And this one might be running its way into shape, a dramatic increase in, the buyer speed figure number from its debut to the second race, and it might do it again in the second time, blinkers angle. So it's going to be a fun race to watch, and I'm going to use Justin's horses along with my horse in a pick 3, and we'll see what happens. Race number 8 is a optional claiming $50,000, non-winners of 2, $142,000 purse. It's 6 panels for fillies and mares, or just mares. No, fillies and mares. And we both landed on the 6 here. Demi had a spin on the track and ran a hell of a race. 2 for 2 sprinting and 1 right off the bench. What did you like about it?
Pretty much the same thing. After you're looking at that, 2 for 2 with the sprints. That last race was a real eye opener. It didn't win as a bomb, but I mean, look at that number. If it could repeat that, it's gone. And then now you look at that last work, 6 out of 59, 48. I think this horse woke up.
Yeah. I was just going to tell you, I like horses that make their 4-year-old debuts, and it didn't make a 4-year-old debut. It ran later in its 3-year-old, but it was a very immature 3-year-old filly back then in June and May. And it had a little break from February to May. They tried it on turf. They threw it on a slop. It didn't like the slop. It didn't like the turf. Okay. I think it's safe to say. Also didn't like a muddy track in February, but the fast strips is where it's at for this horse. I think we need to pay attention to the weatherman and just make sure we got a fast strip before we really go all in on this horse. If anything less than a fast track, I'm not going to play it. But if it's a fast strip, I want this horse on all my horizontals, all of my verts, and as a win candidate as well. The 5 was my backup, Aunt Becca. It's coming out of Kentucky, and I have that stuck in my head with Mike. Texas Mike said, all these Kentucky horses are doing good here. That was a super race at Churchill last time, and I included it. It's 5-2, so there's not a lot of imagination. I'd like to see it get on turf, being an Uncle Mo and out of a broken bow mare myself. But Justin, you are taking a stand here. You're singling the 11.
Yeah, I am. I think 11 is an obvious candidate to set the early pace in here. I think there are others that like to go fast, and I'm not saying that even breaking from the outside, the 11 will get the lead, but I think the 11 will obviously be up close. And I'm a little concerned about a super wide trip around the turn. You never want to see that, but I think she's primed for a big effort. She came back at Churchill. Well, let's start. She made the lead in the Grade 1 Ashland around 2 turns at Keeneland in April. She's got 2 wins over the Oaklawn surface. Does anybody else even have We have the 8 has one, the 7 has one, the 6 has one, the 4's got a couple. Anyway, so reason to believe that she likes it here. I like the drop back in class from the stakes race where she was again up close and didn't totally spit the bit late. I just think if class means anything, and if Timeform US pace projections mean anything, she should be the one that survives the pace duel and doesn't pack it in. So I think she, because if I went beyond her, I'd have to use probably 4 or 5 others, and I just don't like to go that deep in a pick 3. You got to stand somewhere, and I thought the 11, Effortlessly Elegant, made the most sense.
I mean, great synopsis of that. I love the work tab. This horse has 2 wins here. The numbers are right there, and it's another one that has, it's a 4-year-old now, and it looks like it's just growing up. And that last race was, it's a stake race. It's tougher than it looks, and 7-2 square. Hopefully it stays there. It's a $9 horse. It's not a bomb, but it's not 6-5. And the horse, the filly definitely fits in this spot. Marco, your backup is the 10 Fee Asmussen coming out of Remington Park.
Yeah, I took him underneath. There's someone that I think could also just stay close and maybe be able to hang around until the end. Not much for Oaklawn 0 for 2. But those were pretty tough races as well. He's got a couple wins at the distance. But I think this horse has just been getting just a little bit better this year versus or I guess he only raced it. Yeah. He's just been getting better later in the year. And I think going forward, he can maybe be a little bit better to win something like this.
Sure. I do want to note my top pick, or our top pick, Demi, did win the last time, second time blinker. So shout out to Chalkbuster on that one. I wonder if he had this horse, if he was playing Oaklawn at 39-1. All right, we're going to move into race 9. I think we are pretty I think everybody's on the same page here from when I saw your picks, Justin, when you sent them in. I'm 11-12. Marco's 12-11. You have the 11 and the 12 only on your pick 3. And I think the consensus in this race is, I wanted to look at, something that's going to get out there and get a good spot and get first run. But, man, there's so many horses in here that just want the front. And I think you're going to get a sub 22 second, a sub, you're going to get like a 45-1, like 45-2 half mile in here. And I think it's just going to be so fast early that everything's going to set up for the 2 outside horses. I thought the 11 was a little bit more classier, obviously, than the 12. Maybe not so much when it comes to that last Spire speed figure, but just on maybe class. But 15-1 on the 12, 4-1 on the 11. I put the 11 on top. You can't go wrong either way here. I went with the Broberg runner, and I don't think there's much more to say. I think we're going to get a perfect setup, and let's see who can close the fastest out of these 2. How did you see it, Marco?
Pretty much. I like the 12 beat or just lost by a neck to a horse that I had picked earlier in the card, Burning Hunk of Love. And I think Burning Hunk of Love is going to repeat win, and if he does win that race earlier in the card, I'm going to feel a lot better about this pick today. And also a win at the strip, I believe this 12 has. Yeah, he's got a win at the strip in 3 seconds. So I know he can handle the Oaklawn surface. And he will be coming late.
Well, Justin, I think me and Mark, listen, I know you might have a couple of things to add. I think you have eyes. Is this just like one of those races where it's so damn obvious and we're going to be like, no, obviously, no doubt. Or are we going to be like, damn, it didn't happen that way?
Yeah. I mean, I think with all 3 of us on the same 2 horses, one of which is 15-1, that's a recipe for disaster, I think.
I know.
It can't be this easy. But I saw the same thing everybody did. I think, we're going to get a fast pace up front. It almost has to be. And, if that happens, then are these the kind of horses that can just keep going? It's not like the 11 or the 12, aren't capable of trying to stay somewhat close.
Right.
I don't think we're talking about being 10 lengths out of it early. That would be bad. But if they're able to stay within striking distance, even if they're last and second last, I think this race sets up for a closer, and they're the two best closers, I think.
Yeah, the 11 does have a little bit of tactical speed, not going to lie, but it has shown the ability to come from the clouds. Whereas the 12, not as fast early, but it's got a devastating kick, at least at, Fairmount Park. That last race, though, come on. I mean, that was a big run at 26-1, and to miss by a neck with that big number, it's going to get the same setup. And makes up. Just curious, Justin. Like, I have 11-12. Marco's got 12-11. You like the 11 and 12 on your ticket. Who did you like better between the two?
The 11, and I'll tell you what put it over the top for me. If you omit the 11's 2-turn races, and you omit the race at Ellis in July, which was over a sloppy track at 7 furlongs, the stakes race. This horse has 4 wins from 5 starts sprinting. Mm-hmm. I think sprinting is this horse's game, and I think they go faster up front than they did in this horse's last race on December 9th. And this one's going to be flying late under Torres. So I would play 11-12. If I'm playing an exacta, I'd probably play the 11 on top of the 6 and the 12. I mean, the 6 is obviously one you want to consider. I just like the 11 and the 12 better in this spot.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was kind of neat seeing, when you sent your picks in. I looked at my picks. I was like, oh, wow, he likes my picks. And then Marco sent me his picks, and I'm like, oh, wow, look at that.
Steve-O,
so,
Marco and I are the only two here. We're the only two in the Lone Speed group text that aren't qualified for the NHC. So maybe you shouldn't be happy that you're on the same horses as us.
You know what? Marco knows Oaklawn better than me, and I'm learning. And so I'm not gonna knock his picks. As far as you go, Justin, I'm kind of shocked you're not qualified. I don't know what happened, what's going on, but I was pressing last year before you get going. I was pressing last year, and then Marco, I noticed your demeanor. You're yelling at everything. You're yelling at the internet. There's a fish that jumped out of the water. There's a bird flying by. It gets to you when you think you're right there. You finished 12th on Monday in a 400 entry contest. You start to press this time of year. We still have Hawthorne. We're going to Houston together. Justin, what is on the game plan? What is on the docket for you guys? Because let's get into contest play here. What is on the docket for you guys? I know you're playing Pegasus Day. Justin, start with you. What's next?
Yeah. Well, as far as your comment about you're surprised I'm not qualified, I'm really not. I mean, I like you said, I was close in some of the Hawthorne contests, a nose here, a neck there. But I haven't played very many online Friday contests. In fact, I haven't played many online NHC qualifiers at all. And I've qualified for the NHC 5 times. Is that right? 5 years? 19.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, five times. Every time I've qualified has been online in a $2 mythical win place. And I've had a lot of conversations with our buddy Frank Mastari over the last couple of years. And bottom line is, those conversations have kind of forced me to rethink my approach to contest play. And I just don't think the $2 mythical format is my best format. So I haven't tried that hard. I'm not saying I don't want to qualify. I just haven't put forth the effort this year. My strategy from here is probably, like you said, the Pegasus. I might go to Hawthorne. On I'm not sure. That's in February. I think Tampa. Does Tampa have a qualifier?
Tampa has a qualifier the same day as I think Indiana Grand.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. So and I'll tomorrow's Friday as we're recording this. I might play the $75 online. We're going to get to the point where we have low ratio qualifiers for non-winners of a seat, which I'm eligible for. I might play in one or two of those and see if I can catch lightning in a bottle. Or I might just not try that hard and just fly out to Vegas for the last chance qualifier and see you guys, hang out, go to dinners.
Go to Koi.
Maybe. And, see how that works.
Marco, you're gonna go to Houston with me, right? Is that the game plan, or?
Going to Houston. I'm gonna try to go to Hawthorne. It's 2 days separate contest. I like that. It's not very expensive to get in the contest as well. Plus, I could see family and all that. So that's kind of like looking something like I might want to do. Houston, yeah, that's going to be a lock to go to that because you're already in it and then it's close.
Yeah,
and I like it. I like the people.
I need to find out if we could play the Pegasus online in Texas from Texas, Mike.
We got to figure that out. I'm going to smash a few online contests here and see what happens. I mean, yeah, the later it gets, the more and more pressing it's got to be.
Well, unlike last year when I was in the same boat as you guys, I'm double qualified. I actually, did well on some live events and some online events, and I'm just outside the top 20. I'm right there. I need one score. And I was telling everybody on the Lone Speed text group, I just want to collect a check when we go to Vegas for that dinner. I want to walk up there and grab a $10,000 check. If it costs me $10,000 to get that $10,000 check, I don't care. I just want to get that check. So,
well, there you go.
That's my that's what I want to do. But before you know it, I mean, we're 2024. March Madness is going on during the tournament, so we have a lot of other family that's going to be coming out, and it's gonna be an interesting week, and it's we're 2 months away. We're basically 9 weeks away from the tournament.
Yeah, we gotta start playing, Justin. One of us gotta win. Otherwise, I'll be in the first last chance too, and just come out and drink some cheap beer and cigarettes or something.
I want to hang out to Paris at that little part that's by that restaurant where it's a $50 breakfast.
Yeah, I like hanging out there too. Marco and I
drink some Trulies, or what's the other drink? It's Trulies, right?
White Claws, Trulies. Something girly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very girly.
Hang out there and just watch people walk by and see who else you could talk to. And it's always a good time. And, I look forward to it every year. It's like a convention. Even if you don't do well in the tournament, there's other things to do and people to see. I don't know. On that note, anything else to add, guys?
No.
It's a new year. New year.
It's a new year. It's a new attitude. And we'll close the show out, guys, with some music here. And what I like to say, Justin, is this the sex god music that we were talking about earlier? But Marco, what's our tagline at the end of the show?
Well, let's cash some tickets.
Let's cash some damn tickets, man. Justin, I'm going to use your picks and throw in some of mine on that pick 3. And let's see what happens.
I feel pretty good tomorrow. Let's do it.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll see you next time, which is going to be Saturday's card. We'll be doing a recording tomorrow for that. Until then, we will see what happens tomorrow. Oh, real quick. Before we go, my long shot pick of today. Well, not that one. Is the Asmussen runner. First-time starter, and Marco, Eternally Grateful is yours.
Yes, sir.
So let's see if we can bring those home. If you want to follow us on Twitter, there it is, Justin. I think everybody already follows you on Twitter.
Maybe. Like Justin did.
All right. Well, on that note, guys, we will see you later. Let's cash some tickets. God bless. We'll see you next time.
Later.